Ubuntu 24.04 came out last week.
I do have this on my laptop.
It's not a huge update.
I have no desire to be on the bleeding edge. What I have a desire for is for the computer to turn on and do the exact same thing it did last time I used it, if I'm being completely honest here.
Fedora 40 came out. These are both relatively minor updates, the new Ubuntu and the new Fedora, but they're definitely welcome.
When I upgrade the systems that are production systems to Ubuntu Studio 24.04, I will maybe talk about it a little bit. It'll be not exactly late breaking news.
Instead of news, it's olds. Hello, how the tech are you? My name is HK Perrin, and this week I've got two cool stories about new versions of some hot Linux OSs. First one is Ubuntu 24.04 came out last week. This is an LTS release, so it gets 12 years of support and updates, meaning this operating system will be able to run and be getting updates when someone born just now is like starting high school. Do you start high school at 12? Or no, that's 14. Well, in middle school. Anyway.
13, yeah.
Yeah. This new version comes with GNOME 46, but the corresponding Kubuntu release, which has KDE, is still on KDE 5, unfortunately. So no KDE 6 for this version of Ubuntu. One really cool new feature is that you can now encrypt your disk using the TPM, which is the Trusted Platform Module. It's a little chip that sits on your motherboard or a different chip inside of your CPU that basically holds all of your security keys and makes sure that it's only talking to the real operating system in order to give out that security key. So basically, you can have an encrypted disk that only gets unencrypted when the system is starting with the right operating system. So like if I stick a USB drive in there and I boot from it, I won't be able to decrypt your hard disk. So that's really useful if you're going to install this on a laptop, something that can be easily stolen, or if you're going to install this in like a data center and you need it to be able to come up without putting a password in and you want that real good data security. So that's a very welcome, awesome feature. I love to see it. Any questions about that, or should I talk about the next one real quick?
Oh, I was actually just going to say that I do have this on my laptop, and
yeah,
but I came from 2310, so I barely noticed any difference actually. So.
Yeah, it's not a huge update. It's basically just like they updated GNOME. That was the biggest update. They updated all the packages, but there weren't any big changes. There weren't any big new features. It was just kind of like Ubuntu tends to be pretty conservative with their LTS releases because they don't want to introduce big new features in an LTS release because they're going to be supporting it for 12 years.
Yeah,
you know, if they're going to do a more experimental kind of feature, they'll do it on a regular update, which only gets, I believe it's 10 months of updates. So yeah, it's much easier for them to kind of experiment on those releases.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I imagine going from the last LTS, 22.04?
Yep, 22.04, yeah.
There's probably a lot of big differences, but like on my laptop, I just always do the incremental ones and just update. Like I just keep up to date on it because I don't know, like why not? Like if something bad happens on my laptop, I just nuke the thing and reinstall it. There's nothing important on there.
Yeah, so like on my mom's laptop, she's on LTS releases. So she's currently on the 22.04 release. So for her, it's going to be a big change. She's going to get a lot of new features, which she'll probably hate.
Right.
But,
yeah. Like for me on the machine that I'm using for this, we're on Ubuntu Studio and I'm on 22.04, but I'm not even thinking about 24.04 because like you said, these are long-term support releases and like I have no desire to be on the bleeding edge. What I have a desire for is for the computer to turn on and do the exact same thing it did last time I used it, if I'm being completely honest here.
Yep.
All right, what do you got next?
Yeah.
All right. Next, I've got Fedora 40 came out last week as well, just a few days before Ubuntu 24.04. Fedora 40 introduces GNOME 46 and KDE 6. So you've got brand new versions of both the major desktop environments. And Fedora brought back the Fedora Atomic branding for their RPM OS tree based OSs. These are OSs that essentially the way they handle updates is by layering the file system on top, so that if something goes wrong, you can just undo that last layer. That's where the atomic comes from. If something goes wrong, it's during the process. It's only applied when the entire update finishes. So if something goes wrong during, it doesn't get applied. And if something goes wrong afterwards, you can roll it back pretty easily. So these are really cool OSs. They're still kind of experimental. I don't know anyone who runs an Atomic OS as their daily driver. I have thought about switching to Vanilla OS, which is also an Atomic OS. But I don't know if it's quite ready yet. I don't think their 2.0 has come out. So yeah, these are both relatively minor updates, the new Ubuntu and the new Fedora, but they're definitely welcome, especially in Ubuntu, since that's an LTS. So a lot of people getting new features that they might need, especially if you're doing like AI in the data center, or if you're doing AI at home. These have brand new versions of the AI libraries, new versions of PyTorch, new versions of RockM. So you're going to be able to run those AI workloads on these if that's what you're doing. So yeah, welcome changes.
Yeah, I've been actually thinking about giving Fedora a go on one of my computers, maybe just the computer that I use to chat, like over on the other side of the room while I'm DJing or something, because it does seem kind of neat. And I think I've installed it before, but I've never really used it. And so it might be kind of neat to check out.
Yeah, it is awesome. I run just the main version of Fedora Workstation, and it has been rock solid. I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah. It'd be nice. And I mean, I know it's a small team over there, but if they were to roll something based on Fedora that is similar to like Ubuntu Studio, that would be something that I would be interested in maybe trying at some point. But there's nothing like that. And the other option for what I do sort of is like AV Linux, and not too thrilled on that. But in maybe 9 months or a year, when I upgrade the systems that are production systems to Ubuntu Studio 24.04, I will maybe talk about it a little bit. It'll be not exactly late breaking news.
Instead of news, it's olds.
It's old. Yeah, I usually wait till the the dot two actually to go to the next LTS. It's just easier that way. All the problems are ironed out. All right. Well, I guess it's my turn. Unless Matt.
I don't run Fedora or anything, so I have no comments on that. They do Ubuntu, but I don't know if I'm updated or not. I do like the long-term stable type stuff, though. I don't like to be on the bleeding edge. I like my computers to, work when I want them to work. And
for as much flack as Ubuntu gets in like the Linux world, because they're pushing snaps, which I don't like snaps. That's one of the major reasons I switched to Fedora. That's one of the major reasons I switched away from Ubuntu. I was on Manjaro for a little while. Now I'm on Fedora. But I never had big problems when I was on Ubuntu. Canonical makes a really stable operating system. It's stable. It's supported for a long time. I feel like, if you're going to do production workloads, like I was saying, for as much hate as they get, they're still a great choice.
Yeah, I mean, the other streamers I know who are running Linux on their production machines are all running some version of Ubuntu. They're all on an LTS. Most of them aren't maniacs like me and running some crazy jack setup, but they are, they are on an Ubuntu LTS, and that makes a lot of sense, right? Because these are, like you said, this production workloads. These are people who turn, to some extent, some of them it's a side hustle, some of them it's like their job. And if it's your job, you just want to turn your computer on and have it do the same thing it did the last time you used your computer, most of the time for most people. So it's, and the other reason, one of the other reasons that it's stable and it moves slow, I think, is that now there's a lot of other stuff based on Ubuntu. And so they're in a position sort of similar. And I mean, Debian's still out there and Ubuntu is still based on Debian, but now Canonical is in a similar position to where maybe Debian was 10 or 15 years ago, where so much stuff was based on Debian that it had to be stable. And I think the same if they break Ubuntu and nobody notices, well, it's just going to break everything. It's going to break nine other fairly well-known versions of Linux, and then fucking 25 other versions of Linux you've never heard of.
Yep.
So that's good. I didn't put either of those on because, well, I didn't even know much about Fedora, and I felt like I wouldn't have much to say about Ubuntu, so I'm glad you came in with it. But I would never, ever update a production machine off of an LTS, even onto the new LTS, the day that the LTS comes out. That's madness.
Yep, it's asking for trouble.
It is. And it's not that, most of the time you'd probably be fine, but it's like that part of the time that you're not fine. I just feel like people that are going to stay on the LTS are not people that are in a huge hurry anyway. So,
yeah, like I feel like the kind of target of people that update their things to like the latest version are generally either running like home servers that aren't, they don't have to have crazy uptime, or they're running something that like they need to have that bleeding edge library. Like I was saying, the new versions of like ROCm, if you have like AMD like machine learning workloads, or the new version of PyTorch, if you have NVIDIA like CUDA based AI workloads, for those the new features that you get are actually like worth the risk of updating.
Yeah, and the other use case maybe is that people just see the new LTS and they're like, well, I have this, in my case, a second machine and a laptop that I just throw in my backpack. And they don't, if it breaks, then they don't care because it's not,
Yeah.
a lot of us people who run Linux have more than one computer, actually.
Yep.
We're computer nerds, as they would say. All right.
I have more than one computer, and they run more than one operating system.
Are you on Fedora 40?
On 3 of my machines, yes. On several of my other machines, I'm on Ubuntu, still 22.04. And on one of my machines, I'm on Debian.
The Ubuntu 22.04, those are servers, I would imagine.
Yeah. Those are all server machines.
Yeah, I think one of my servers is still on 20.04, and I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, if they're working fine, there's no reason to upgrade them.
Right. I don't even think I've logged into the console on plexwiki.x. Like I don't think I've SSH'd into that server in like 3 or 4 months. Like it's fine. It's fine. Who needs updates?
Thank you for watching How the Tech Are You. We do this show every week, and we put it out in 3 segments on YouTube. You can check that out, and you can check out all of our other shows at echoplexmedia.com. And if you'd like to support us, you can do that at patreon.com/echoplex or at eplex.store. There will be another video for you to watch right up on screen right now, and have a great Tekken week.